So did you play any games?
I've played some more Genshin Impact, but I haven't like progressed in any way. Um, I'm just kind of like it's telling me that my adventure rank needs to be 10 before I can move on to whatever the fuck, and I'm just like, uh, haven't been paying attention on how the adventure rank goes up besides like opening chests and stuff. So I just went running out into the wild and started encountering bad guys that are like level 30 that I can't really do anything to. Specifically, like I found some of these like combat challenge things where it's like you got to kill all these enemies or whatever. And those weird fire flower things are just I cannot beat them for some reason. I'm guessing I need a character that specializes in water or something, which I don't have. So that was frustrating because like I would do some damage and then they would dive underground and come back with full health, and it's like, well, this is dumb.
Well, they have a shield that's mostly affected by water. They take a lot of damage from Lisa, especially if they're on fire, because she'll get overcharged and blow them up.
Yeah, that's how I dealt with a lot of those things. But the fire flower dudes, they just kept jumping underground and healing.
So their shield should come back fully recharged if they go underground and come back up. Their health shouldn't too much. But you can do, I think you could do pretty good damage to their shield with Kea because he's got ice. It's not as good as water.
Yeah, it wasn't doing a lot. Like, he just got fucked up hardcore from those things.
I have Barbara, so I'm set on the water thing. But the best ways to get adventure rank up, yeah, opening chest does it. I think finding all the waypoints on the map is a lot of adventure rank.
Yeah, I found some of those, but it was like there are enemies that are like level 30 that just start chasing me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't really want to go in those areas.
Quests do quite a bit. Big bosses, like if you go to your adventure handbook and go see what counts as as enemies, it'll list the bosses in there.
Oh yeah, I fought one boss type thing. I'm assuming it was a boss. It was like there was this wind thing. It was like a ball that was like, I don't know. It was a weird big floaty thing that kept attacking me, and I killed it.
The Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, those I don't think they count as a. I'm not sure if they count as a proper boss. They should. They're hard enough. They're big damage enemies.
It was the first boss-like thing I've run into besides that dragon thing at the beginning in the tutorial.
There's 2 hypostasises in Mondstadt, and they freaked me out the first time I saw them. The Animo hypostasis, the one made of wind, was the one that is, I think, the one I found first. It's like near Duapa Gorge. It's in Stormbearer Mountains. If you went, it's actually right near the starting area. If you could climb in the starting area, but if you go out of Mondstadt, which is going eastward, and you just went straight north, you would eventually find it. It's hyper-stable elements made out of cubes. Shit looks like it's some kind of computer glitch. And that dude chased me and surprised the shit out of me. He's stuck in an arena.
These villains are fast.
The hypostasis is stuck in an arena, but he's right next to the edge of the world, and I tried to flee him going north. So I wound up getting stuck, and this dude would hit me, and I would go out of bounds, and Paimon would be like, we'll explore the area ahead of us later, and auto-walk me back into him, and I got stuck in that loop. And got my ass kicked. But those do the most.
I found one, I found an arena-type place that was just, like, empty. I was really expecting some kind of ambush or something, but it was just kind of like a weird round hole in the ground, like, not very deep hole, but like, with rocks or whatever. It was weird. Nothing happened. I figured out that there's a point, like, you can't feed these characters a whole lot like you can with Link in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that sucks.
I love it. Whenever, because I was trying to fight a group of enemies, and I just kept having to feed her food, and then it was just like, now she's full. She can't eat anymore. I was like, you know what? I love that. I like that there's a limit to that.
It's pretty funny.
It just makes sense.
I tried to... yeah, there's been some times where my healer was dead, because there's not very many characters in the game that can heal. Barbara can heal, and she died, and I was like, I'm really over my ass here. And then she was full, and I was like, she's been eating hash browns. How full can she get on hash browns? This is stupid and childish.
And potatoes are really filling.
That's
It's
true.
a dense food.
It sounds like the thing that you were in was probably in Wolvendom. It was probably the Dominator of Wolves fight. There could have been a sword in there, and if you tried to pull on the sword, you might not be able to activate it at your rank. I don't think you can activate them until you're a later rank.
Yeah, I'm still ranked 8.
That's probably my favorite boss fight in the game. And you need 60 fragile resin to collect his treasure, but it's a 2-story tall
I don't even know what that is.
anime style Arctic wolf, and
Hell
he
yeah.
blurs out the background around you. He uses nothing but ice attacks, and he'll do this super speed thing where he runs away from you and runs around you in a blur and just like summons constellations and darkness around you. It's just a great anime fight. It's a pretty tough one
cool.
too. Yeah, that's my favorite. That you
Now I
can
feel
just
like I'm
fight
gonna be
repeatedly.
disappointed when I see it because you've explained it so cool.
You're gonna be disappointed when you die because you don't have any fire characters. But Lisa will do some
Amber's
good
a fire character, right?
That's true. She is a fire character. I forget about her. I loved Amber, and then I went and, because I was playing Genshin Impact, Google kept giving me articles about Genshin Impact, and everyone was making tier lists and putting Amber at the bottom. And I was like,
Really?
I don't even have any new characters yet, so Amber's so cool. And she is cool.
I like her aesthetic, and I like the weird plushy bomb thing. I think that's
Baron
funny.
Von Bunny.
Yes, I love it. I want one. But I don't know. I think she is kind of the one that I use the least. But that's because I have the arrow shooting problem. I did change the sensitivity on that, and it does work a little bit better, but it's still like really slow and weird.
It's not good.
She is the one that I use the least, though.
I don't do
I
aim
used to-
shots in combat very often anyway.
Yeah, she was the one that I was using to fight the Eye of the Storm thing, which sucked because it kept losing where the enemy was and firing at nothing, and it was very hard to control.
I use Lisa a lot for that, but I use Lisa with Barbara, since she's also a catalyst user, so she's doing just straight water damage, and then Lisa's just straight lightning damage, and the water will stick on the person. They'll stay wet long enough for Lisa to get an electric reaction, and they'll stack damage on each other.
That's freaking awesome. I like that mechanic a lot. It makes me think
too.
of like Pokemon, but
I think
I think it's really cool the way
this-
that elements react with each other.
I think this game's made enough money that they're going to start releasing more characters for free because a lot of people are complaining, and you'll see the character come up in the story mode, Venti, the bard with the green silly costume. He has abilities that are super useful just for getting around. Like his hold R2 is he summons a vortex under him, so you can already get like 30 feet in the air and then start floating, or you can get 30 feet up a
Rivali's
cliff.
Gale.
Yes, exactly. Short Rivali's Gale.
I was just saying, I would love Rivali's Gale in this game.
You could if you got Venti, but he's not on the wish list right now. He was in the first banner for the wish, and I managed to get him. He's a 5-star, but enough people are saying things like he's the first god of the game that you meet. He's in the first story quest. He's a huge part. He's useful for getting around. He's got abilities that are good for crowd control and combat. He's still not overpowered. I don't use him for DPS. He's just a good utility character. The only thing that makes me was disappointing when I got him and I started having once I started having enough characters to pick who I had to use, I was using the Traveler for Animo. I was using her as my wind character. And then Venti was my new wind character, and I didn't really like Geo. But I wound up switching. Once you actually get to Leeway and you get one of the Statue of the Sevens inside of Leeway, the Traveler can become Geo or Animo. So I use her as a Geo character now.
Interesting.
I'm hoping when they get new territories in here that she can adopt powers from the other gods too. I hope they keep that going.
Yeah, she's the character that I play as most, just because I got used to it initially.
Yeah, and her ability, her Windblade was super useful for getting elemental effects.
Yeah, I don't use the elements enough. I always forget about them. And then I'm just sitting there swinging my sword and then running out of stamina and hitting the button over and over again until my stamina comes back.
I was always running people towards water and using her Windblade to try to knock them in the water and then hitting them with Lisa so they would all get electrocuted.
Hell yeah. See, that's just such an interesting way of combat. Makes a lot more sense. I feel like I'm doing everything hard mode because I'm just like, I'm going to use this person and not try to stack anything or any of that. Because, I don't know, I just don't think about it. I don't think about one of the main points of the game.
The game gets hard enough that it becomes important to do stuff like that, which was my... Yeah. A lot of people have been complaining the game's too easy, and I was like, the game's still interesting. And then this...
It's too easy? Play with a controller like mine.
Yeah, just play with a shitty controller.
Yeah.
This was the first time that they had an event that was too hard, I think. It's called Hypostatic Symphony, and you fight those hypostasises, but they're purer forms and they're more powerful. On top of that, when you go to the location and you go to fight one, you can choose to raise the difficulty with different effects. You can set the level of the hypostasis between easy and expert. At expert, they're level 95, and then from there, you get a multiplier, and then you have the things that you can change. So, like, locking the timer to 1 minute and 20 seconds is an option, and that's not long enough to kill a level 90 hypostasis under good conditions. And then if you wanted to make it harder, there's all sorts of buffs for them and debuffs for your party. Which I'm all for that if it's just like it's not really affecting anything, but you have to get a max score to get points to get stuff off of the prize table, which is all upgrade material and gold. And I need that stuff now because I'm in the end game and that stuff's getting harder to get. And it's like if I wanted to get all of the challenge rewards, I would have to at least get a score of 2880 on each boss, which means basically fighting every boss in 1 minute and 20 seconds at level 95 with all of my characters at quarter power and the boss having 400% health and me not getting my elemental recharges fast enough. And then That's
crazy.
Yeah, and then the last phase is fighting all three of them one after the other. And, I can't plan a party around that because I'd have to do that with just one party. It's one thing for me to bring one party to beat one hypostasis on hard, but I've decided I just don't care to do it.
Yeah. Because
you still get the Primogems just for beating it. Like, yeah, I got the premium currency just for, like, they didn't hold that over people's head, but to get all the extra stuff I want, I would have to figure out some immaculate strategies or really level the characters up really, really well. And it's got 7 days on it left, and I just don't think I'm going to do it. It's too hard.
Sounds like something I probably wouldn't do either.
Yeah, for the first time, it's too hard for me. And I don't know who's actually accomplished this goal. Because it's hard.
Children, probably.
If there was one easy one, and they don't stack. It's your top score. Your top score there's seven levels, and they just add your top scores together. So you can't grind them. It's not like you can get 20,000 points by beating one of them 10 times. You got to get your top score on all of them. And I would have to get a top score of at least 2880 on all of them to get all the points. I can't replay it and get more points.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. It's too hard.
Yeah, I still don't know enough about, like, the leveling up shit. I don't know. Like, I have a bunch of stuff for leveling up, but But I'm just like, I don't know if these characters should be leveled up to a point that, because I could get it up, I could probably get all my people up to max right now, but I'm also like, do I want to save this for other characters that might come up later? Like, I don't know. And like a lot of these items and stuff too, I'm just like, I don't know. There's too much ability to level everything up. I don't know. I don't know what to do about all of that.
Leveling up a character doesn't get that hard. Sometimes it can take a few days to max out a character later game. Like, I have the ability to get, I don't know, probably 10 of my How many characters do I have? Because I'm on that wish table all the time. It's going to make me count it the hard way. I can't count. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 20 characters.
Wow, that's 5 times more than me.
More than half of them, I think about half of them are level 70 and could go to 80. A lot of them could go to 90. So your first round leveling up, it caps out at 20, and then you have to ascend them with ascension materials, which you get by fighting bosses or going to domains and doing challenges. So you grind these out every week, and then you have to pay for the treasures with original resin, but you only get 160 of a day, but it recharges. I think if you were up for 24 hours, you would get 360 or something like that. But it's relatively expensive, and they're going to be changing that, because that's the big complaint from players at this end of the game, is that, like, I want to level up characters so I can take on the hard challenges, but you're, like, limiting the amount that I can level up a character and do stuff. So once you beat all the quests and stuff, you only have, like, 30 minutes of the game to play. And so you play 30 minutes a day if you want, and then you can log back in and condense your resin so it's worth more later and do tricks like that, so you're getting the most out of your 30 minutes to an hour playing every day. But they're probably going to enhance the resin system to make it easier to get more, and some things just won't cost resin anymore.
Okay.
But I would level up whoever you feel comfortable using. I'll say that I still use Lisa.
That's what I was going to ask is... are any of the first 4 characters something that I'm going to use later on?
I never used Kaya. I didn't like him. I was immediately attracted to Catalyst users, so I tried to collect just those. And that wound up not being the best strategy. I guess they're weaker, even though they do quick damage. Like, they're the easiest to... They pop out with their element. That seems like an obvious winner to me. But then there's a lot of characters that just do good damage. Kaya does really good damage. He's a good character. His frost ability's good. Yeah, and
I think it's because I liked the tutorial with him, because it was way more like blatantly like you have to use this power versus like the first, like the rest of them.
Yeah,
period. The rest of the temples, it didn't matter.
Yeah, I ignored them. I ignored them and just used the Traveler.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of platforms that I could use Windblade and just throw people off.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was doing it earlier, I would probably have put more investment into Kaya, because his abilities are good. They recharge quick. He can heal himself with his ability. His R2 ability later on, he gets... I don't think it's that much later. I think it's like after level 20 or something. Using Frost and Awe will heal 20 or... Okay, yeah. Once you get to level 20 or 30, you'll get Cold-Blooded Strike if you go to his talents, which is an ability that doesn't level up. But every Frost and Awe regenerates HP that is equal to 15% of his attack.
Cool.
So that's not a lot of health, but he's freezing people, and he's healing himself a little bit, so he lasts a little longer than other characters, and he's strong. He does hit good. And there's a lot of good swords in the game, so you're likely to get a good sword.
Yeah, but you're still using, you still use the main character, right?
I bring her out for certain situations. I stopped using her for a long time. My main party was Venti, Lisa, Barbara, and Zhang Ling, because she was better fire damage than. I wouldn't say she was better fire damage than Amber. She was just doing straight fire. There was no timer on the explosion. Her little bear just shoots streams of fire at people, and I can run around. And she's a spear user. She does more damage faster. So she was cool. I was attracted to her immediately. And that was my main party until very recently. And now I switch up the party a lot depending on what kind of boss I have to fight. But
Gotcha.
yeah, the Traveler's always good. Her abilities are really good. Her Geo ability drops a big stone pillar in the middle of the room, and it can drop on top of enemies, and it'll drop Geo crystals, which gives you a shield. And you can also run around the pillar and use it for crowd control, so you can filter enemies and make it easier to stay alive. Also, characters like Lisa, the Catalyst people, their abilities shoot through walls and objects, so if you drop a pillar and run behind it, you can still hit people with lightning from a safe spot.
Dope.
Yeah, so she's always useful. But at some point, you wind up needing, especially if you go to the Spiral Abyss, like the main difficult tiered level of the game, it requires you to have 2 parties in the last 3 chambers. So you wind up needing 8 people, but I've gone other places for ice. I've got Chong Yun, which came off of the small table, and he's a Claymore ice wielder, but his special ability is he smacks the ground, and it creates a circle where everybody who does melee damage inside of the circle has ice on their weapon. So I can like pop him down and then use Chang Ling's spear as an ice weapon while I have her little bear do fire damage. And then I can switch back and forth real quick between her and Lisa to get ice, fire, and lightning all at the same time, and people are just kind of blowing up frozen. It's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've just been putting off leveling everybody, so I guess I'll just do that then. Because I was like, I don't know what the... Like, I have a lot of this stuff to level up, but I don't know how easy it is to find, so...
It's there. They're in fixed positions. You can grind them every day. I just got a new character yesterday, and if I wanted to get her to level 60 today, I probably could.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you run them. It might take a few days to get... If you wind up with a new character, it's kind of like, shit, I've got to grind this out, but it's not a big deal. There's just characters that I probably would have invested in more early on. I would have invested in Kaya more earlier, because I took a lot of fights where ice would have been useful, and I didn't have a good ice guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Geo could be a good element, so when I got Noelle, I probably would have put more into her, because she doesn't do the most damage, but she's constantly making shields and healing herself, so she can like stay alive until the timer runs out. Basically every big fight, she's just impossible to kill once you level her up. So she'll get your party through there.
Nice.
So like frying an egg will revive a member, but you can only revive a party member once every 300 seconds. So if somebody goes down, you can just switch to Noelle and stay alive for a while.
Did you say frying an egg?
Yes, at some point one of the recipes you'll get from a quest is the Tevat fried egg. And it revives a party member and gives them 100 HP.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the recipes
Dope.
get really good.
Yeah,
I've got some really...
didn't expect that.
Yeah, delicious Tevat fried egg revives. A delicious steak revives. There's some skewers that revive.
Nice. I should look at the food that I've made, because I've made a lot of food.
Yeah, get recipes, buy recipes. They all do different things. I've got recipes for increasing crit damage and party defense. One thing I didn't use until the last expansion when the Ice World came out, and I was really pissed at fighting the giant ice boss because I kept getting frozen too much, was once you learn how to do alchemy, I didn't do a potion until like 2 weeks ago. And the potions can actually be pretty useful. You can get potions against an element.
Man, this game has so many... That's the thing that it's freaking intimidating whenever I'm playing and suddenly I look and it's like, oh, there are exclamation points on all over this screen. So then you go to the menu and it's just like, there are so many things to look at here. it's one of the reasons with the leveling thing. It's like, and then they're all carrying up to 5 items that do different things.
That you
and
can
who
level.
do I want to have the best? Who do I want to have the best one? You know, that kind of situation. And it's just, there's so much to that. And now I'm learning that there's also potions and that food does even crazier stuff than I thought. Huh.
Yeah, the resources, everything drops. Everything that drops in the game is a resource that you need to upgrade a weapon or a player.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Weapons, man. It took me so long to figure out what the deal was with that. And I'm also just like, so I'm picking up ore, like, all over the place, constantly. And it's just, and the fact that there's only one other game that I've played that's like, we have all these weapons that you can, you know, basically break down into different things and make other weapons more powerful and all that stuff. And that was Hyrule Warriors. They did that stuff because you're collecting weapons all over the place and then you use them to make other weapons more powerful. And it's like, there's so much to this. I don't know what's good here. I don't know what's like worth keeping. I don't know if I'm going to have a character around the corner that's going to be able to use this thing better than whatever the fuck if I was to break it down. I don't know.
I would definitely say keep 6 halberds. Because the refinement thing, you sacrifice 1 weapon to get it maxed out. The max refinement rank is 5. And halberd's really strong if you wind up with a polearm user. As far as the level 3 weapons, there's not that many very good. And level 4 weapons drop pretty frequently once you start doing wishes. Like I've got a weapon.
Okay.
I've got a level 4 weapon for basically everybody. And there's some level 4 weapons that you get from quests, thankfully.
I think I got 1 level 4 weapon, maybe. I feel like I'm remembering that and being like, man, I wish these other guys had stuff that good.
You should get the Sword of Dissension as a quest item, I think. And it's got a bonus if the Traveler's using it.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I mean, you're probably right. I don't know if I've seen it or not.
I don't know where I got it from. Maybe it was a wish. Yeah, there's some good. I would just look up best 3-star weapons or put in your character and search for the best builds. But as far as the best build, I mean, they're gonna make recommendations for their artifacts too, and I don't even have the artifact thing figured out. It's too hard to get. Like I don't want to give a character I'm serious about a 3-star artifact, but there's not that many 5-star artifacts, and you gotta kill big things to grind them. And you probably won't get a 5-star artifact for a long time because you have to get every time that you level up your world rank, you also get more things dropped from bosses. So I'm rank 7, and most of the time I'll get a 5-star drop if that guy drops artifacts. But it is a lot to keep up with. That was my main complaint about the game, is that like what the domains give you changes every day. So some days you can't grind things that you want. One of the things that I didn't realize was a thing until like most of my characters were level 50 or 60 was that you can upgrade the talents. If you go to the talents tab, they also have consumable material to make themselves stronger. And that
I think I found that.
That shit's probably one of the better things that you can upgrade, and those materials are hard to come by. The books of knowledge are harder to get. You have to get them from domains, and you have to spend resin to get them. Whack.
Yeah.
And you can only get them on certain days.
Well, that sucks. Like, I like the idea of games being very, like, you could play it a specific way, you can build your characters differently and stuff like that. You know, RPG stuff. But I do feel like there's kind of a limit where, like, you know, some people, I don't know. I think it could just be me, but it's like, even in, like, Magic the Gathering, like, the way that John builds decks, like, I could never, like, that's, like, completely beyond me. It's not a style I would even think of in any way, shape, or form, where it's like, here are a bunch of different, like, effect shit that stacks on top of each other, and I'm, like, 10 steps ahead of this other person because of this, like, the rule exploit thing. Like, That's what this feels like in Genshin Impact to me. Like, it just feels like there's so many things. Like, you can build a character perfectly if you get all this stuff, but chances are you're not gonna.
No, you're not. Yeah, that's just the thing. It winds up becoming like grinding out materials to upgrade the best stuff that you already have.
Yeah.
The artifact one is the stupidest one because you don't get enough. Like you have to consume artifacts to upgrade the other artifacts, and they don't drop that often, so they're not easy to grind. And it just seems like it takes so long, and I wasted a lot of artifacts just trying to get primo gems from achievements because there was in your adventure handbook there's those chapters that offer rewards, and there's only 9 chapters, and I did do them all, but on one of them was like equip somebody with 5-star artifacts of level 20, and that took so much resources to do.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I did it. Zhangli has a 100% 5-star fully maxed out gladiator kit, and it's doing a lot for her. It's a really a big boon. I could pull up if you go to the artifacts tab and then or you go to your character, you go to artifacts, you look at the right, it'll tell you what it's boosting her.
Yeah.
It's just from the base stats, it's giving her plus 7,700 HP, plus 1,000 attack, plus 300 defense, plus 42 elemental mastery because this build is supposed to be focused on attack bonus, and then the set bonus is giving her plus 18% attack, and then the second set bonus, the 4-piece bonus, is if the wielder of this artifact set uses a sword, claymore, or polearm, increase their damage of normal attack by 35%. So she's getting a lot from that.
That is like insane.
Yeah, her total after all the artifacts is 16,500 HP, 1,700 attack, almost 900 defense, 315 elemental mastery, and her stamina is 240, which is set by your upgrading the statues.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those. I haven't got to the point where they're like fully done or whatever, but I've given them those spirit orbs, so
That becomes a really annoying quest because I did max out the statues for both regions, and I had to Google frequently changing charts where all the orbs were, and that it just took forever.
Dang.
But you have to do it in Leeway to unlock a hidden quest where you fight a really cracked out Ruin Guard to get an item for a quest. And that fight, I almost ignored that fight. That fight was so hard. He's a giant Ruin Guard in there, one of the floating ones. So there's Ruin. I guess he's a Ruin Hunter. The Ruin Guards are the ones that walk. The Ruin Guards are the ones that float. And then he's also guarded by like whopper flowers that give him elemental. Or no, he's guarded by sand slashes. They're a geo thing that roll around and are a giant pain in the ass. But they also drop shield shards.
Sand slashes?
Yeah, they have a real name, but they're fucking. I swear to God, they put sand slashes in this game. They're in they're in the boss list. Look up what the hell that's called so you can Google it because they're pretty cool. But they're kind of funny because they appear on the screen and they always render before trees. So you see them render way the hell before you can even fight them. And they don't load a full 24 frames a cycle animation, so they're all moving at 3 frames at a time. It's pretty funny. They're called Geo Vijap hatchlings. So Geo VI shape hatchlings. And they're just sand slashes.
All right, I look forward to seeing them.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass, and sometimes they come in groups, and they're very hateful. But you gotta kill them to get bone shards so that you can upgrade certain people.
Nice. Can't wait to actually get into this game.
Yeah, I want to say more things about Genshin
I've
Impact.
played 7 hours of it so far, and I just feel like I haven't done anything.
Your Adventurer's Handbook will track bosses, too. If you go in there and click on one, it'll show you where they are. So I can go and find a hatchling right now if I really wanted to, but I don't want to because I hate them.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that more. I looked at it a very little bit when I got it, and then I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go wander into the woods and maybe I'll get my adventure rank to 10 so I can do some stuff.
Yeah, none of the
But I
stuff
didn't.
I'm talking about probably even matters until your adventure rank is level 25. Is I think when you leave the main quest, 25 or 30,
Damn.
and then you start getting the whole open world and go to leeway. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about all that stuff for a long time, but I'm adventure rank 50. I'm about to turn 51.
Damn, son.
I know, I play this game too much. Right now, the highest level online, if I just go to the co-op mode, I can see there's a level 54 on.
Yeah, at this
Just
point,
one
I'm
more
worried that I'll never finish this game.
Nobody will ever finish the game. That's the point.
I mean, I will never get to like any kind of stopping place.
No. No, there'll always be more characters. There'll always be more content. They're not even done adding all the regions in.
Hell
There's
yeah.
going to be a region for every element. And Dragonspine was not...
I don't even know how many elements there are.
There's supposed to be 7, but there's no Dendro characters yet. There's Dendro slimes that do nature damage, I guess, but there's your
Oh,
wind, water, ice, fire, earth, and Dendro. So I guess there's 6.
okay.
Is there only 6? I feel like there was supposed to be 7. No. Yeah, there's 6.
Okay. Until they start adding more types.
I'll look forward to that. Why not? They've made more than fucking any other game right now. They're like fucking $5 billion up or whatever the fuck crazy number off of this shit. Yeah, once everybody
It's a good
saw
game, man.
Yeah, once everybody saw that like saw Fortnite could be a competent first person shooter people enjoy playing and not suck and be free and make a ton of money. I guess that's when they started working on like, oh, we could totally make a Legend of Zelda. We could totally make a Breath of the Wild that never ends.
Yeah, and that's dope. I'm just saying, like, I feel like it's gonna take so long for me to get to like, you know, the bigger stuff of this game because I literally I set aside just a few hours a week to play it.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Because Leeway's twice as big as Mondstadt, and you're not out of Mondstadt yet.
Yeah, I sure am not.
Mondstadt's pretty.
Yeah, I like it. It's you know, at first I thought that there was only really one kind of enemy for quite some time actually because I was only running into slimes. And it wasn't until like last weekend when I was playing that I finally ran into some stuff that was very different. Like, I mean, slimes and the
Not
bokoblins,
bokoblins.
basically. Yeah. The weird, thin bokoblins.
Hilichurls.
Yeah. I don't like churl.
It's
Like,
churlish.
Exactly. It just feels weird to say.
Yeah,
yeah.
seeing an Eye of the Storm the first time was really cool.
Yeah, that was, I think, one of the first things that I saw that was different. That, and then there was those flower things. And then whatever chased me. I don't even know. It chased me for a long time, though. And these fuckers are fast. Why are they so fast?
Probably, was it like just a giant churl?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Churl chieftain. Usually you can outrun them because if you go far enough, and this is one thing that pisses me off, if you go far enough fighting something, they'll just act like you're not there, go back to full health, and walk back to spawn.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest problems I had with those flowers.
Yep, that'll happen. I've been stuck in that places with the giant rune guards on Deathspine. It's a mountain. There's not that many places for me to go, and I've got to run so that this thing doesn't fucking kill me in 2 hits, and it's cold, and I'm freezing to death. And I got to go find torches to stand by, or I will freeze to death. And I walk too far to get to a torch, and they're just like, oh, we're done? I'm going to go sit until you come back, and I'll be at full health when you do.
Yeah, unfortunate.
that should be enough talking about Genshin Impact, because
Yeah, that was like a full Genshin Impact podcast.
I see that they've put another event quest in today called Marvelous Merchandise, but I think that's basically a glorified fetch quest. They've done that before. Look forward to it.
Okay. And as for the wish thing, is it worth doing like this early?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth doing daily, because you can. I mean, you can always hoard your wishes. I don't think there's a limit to how many wishes you can hold. You get the Intertwined Fate and the Acquainted Fate. The Intertwined Fate is for the event card, which will have whatever characters are increased to drop that month. And then there's the Wanderlust Evocation card, which is always just your standard wish. And several things could drop there frequently. The chance of a 4-star or better drop is lower. But, you know, they're different resources. And you can get Acquainted Fate from a few things. If you go to the shop, there's different ways to spend. That's one of the things that pissed me off when I started. There's like 3 premium currencies. 2 of them you earn in-game, and then one of them is the Primo Gems, which you can get from some quests and shit. But yeah, I do wishes often. Last month I did the $5 a month for the what's it called? Because I got it in front of me. Blessings of the Welkin Moon. It gives you 90 Prima Gems a day. And then doing all your daily quests and getting the daily quest bonus is another 60s. And you need 160 Prima Gems to make a wish. So every 2 days I make a wish. Depending on how many chests I can find. If I go do that and go find 5 chests, I can get wishes. But you also get Prima Gems from getting all the waypoints and things like that. So early in the game, it ranks up pretty fast. I think the first time I did a wish, I did like 1,000 of them.
Huh. Yeah, I was just kind of intimidated by it, so I decided I'll just not do that for a while. I don't know enough about it. But I guess I'll explore it tomorrow whenever I play again.